folks, Chris Waters here, standing in for reviewer Justin Clark. Some of your greatest moments in Kerbal Space Program are likely to be failures. You endure disaster after disaster, keeping the little green men that inhabit this universe alive in the cold blackness of space. And then their ship crashes into the moon, which means the end for them, but it also means triumph for you, their commander. You finally made it, after all that time spent trying and tweaking, and now it's time to try again, and hopefully, to stick the landing this time. Trying to nutshell Kerbal Space Program isn't so much a matter of straightforward, you win if you get here goals. The game never stops, because there's an entire solar system waiting out there to be explored. What the game values above all else is perseverance. You advance by simply having the boldness to reach a little higher. If you manage to break the world speed record, then you're ready to try reaching the upper atmosphere. If you can get there, then maybe we can put an astronaut in space. And if we can reach space, maybe we can reach our closest planetary neighbor. Most of your time in game is spent in the vehicle assembly building, on constant trial and error mode, trying to build a craft that can do exactly what's required for the mission at hand. There are literally hundreds of design options and moving parts to assemble, from fuel tanks and rockets to the heat shields for re-entry and the decoupling devices for boosters. And you'd better take it all into consideration, or your vessel will crash and burn before you even see the stars. The actual crafting process is dirt simple, where every part is attached to your craft like Legos. There's a slew of fine-tuning tools available for the more meticulous player, but it's a long time before they become necessary evils. During the design process, you have to plan for every stage of the mission. You need to stockpile enough fuel to make it there and back, and you've always got to keep in mind your ship's stability. And once you've got your spacecraft, the real struggle begins, and your real opponent is gravity. Gravity is what keeps craft from lifting off because you've got too much fuel or not enough boosters. And it's what you will fight all the way into the upper atmosphere, trying to put spacecrafts in orbit instead of watching them fall helplessly back to the ground. There are 3 different modes in Kerbal Space Program. Sandbox mode opens up every available part in the game for you to just fool around with the most elaborate and insane designs imaginable. In Science mode, you earn points for every new milestone you achieve and then spend them on the Research and Development skill tree, which is where you earn bigger and better parts to use. Career mode is a full-blown space program experience, where money is an object, and public donations and government contracts are required to even afford to send astronauts on a flight. This mode is the most gamey of them all, with contracts representing clearly defined missions you can perform to get the most out of every flight. Kerbal Space Program was in beta for years before this, its official release. Funny enough, even after all that time, there are still some scattered bugs throughout, like ships occasionally disappearing, and orbital paths turning twitchy and changing at random even while your ship follows the one you set. But these are nitpicks compared to what feels like the cumulative achievements of thousands of minds bringing their expertise to the table. You see it in the hundreds of tweaks done over the years, and in the lovingly crafted mods, which are easily accessible and promoted in-game. Even NASA's gotten in on it, with a few of their own hypothetical scenarios preloaded in the game right from the get-go. You will fail at Kerbal Space Program, but you will eventually find success. It will demoralize you, it will stress you out, but more often than not, it will also soothe you and inspire you. Every failure has a lesson to impart, and every lesson brings you closer to a new accomplishment. Successes in Kerbal Space Program may be hard-earned, but they're all the sweeter for it. Whether you're escaping the atmosphere for the very first time, or planting a flag on an unexplored planet.